Welcome to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. Thank you for tuning in this episode of The Real, taking time out of your day to come watch this episode. I really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe for me. I'd really appreciate that as well. That's the best way you can support this channel and help me grow my content and grow this channel to where I'd like it to be. Everybody hit the like button for me on the way in on this video today. That also helps promote this video more in the algorithms, helps grow this channel more as well. Please share this content. I would really appreciate that. My guests would as well. If you would please share this episode with someone you know that maybe is interested in the topic we're talking about today. Please leave a comment below as well. We'd love to hear your guys' feedback. You can interact with myself and the guest on the panel and the live chat as well. Whatever we're talking about, just leave a comment there in the live chat. Pop in and say hello. We'll put it on the screen for you. And yeah, without further ado, let's get to the show. Welcome back to The Real with Joseph Lappin. I am Joseph Lappin. Hope you guys are having a great day. Like I said, if you're new here, like I said, also there in that intro, please like, subscribe, and share. We got Antonace in the house. I already put in the comments for everybody. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. Help your boy out. Help grow this channel. Help us grow the real media. And yeah, we really appreciate that. But exciting show today. We've talked a lot of Browns on this channel. But I want to take a little break from the Browns today. I may get into something in the back half later on. I don't know yet. We'll see. But the main topic of today's show is the Cleveland Cavaliers. Obviously, I want to touch more on the Cavs now that football season's officially over with and give them some more spotlight. Obviously, they deserve it. They're the best team in Cleveland right now by far. The Guardians had a good year as well. But I think the Cavs right now, they are the talk of the town. They are the talk of the NBA. I mean, the Cavs, I haven't really got into a whole lot of them so far, but my take on it, and I got a special guest joining me today. TuneNSports is going to join me here momentarily because he's followed them a lot closer than I have so far this season, so he'll break it down for us. And I want to give you guys, my audience, a good analysis of the Cavs, and TuneIn's great, so make sure you go subscribe to him as well. And so we'll bring it up in a second, but the Cavs so far this year, tied for first right now in the entire NBA with the Oklahoma City Thunder at 44-10. First in the NBA in points per game at 122.7 points per game. That is insane. Obviously, a big dramatic shift this year, adding Kenny Atkinson as the head coach, the offense he brought in. We all love JB. JB was a great coach, but I think JB was good for how far he took them, and they needed to make a change. And they definitely nailed the hire with Kenny Atkinson. The offense he's brought in, like I said, and defensively they're still pretty good too. Obviously with the length. But kudos to Kobe Alvin for sticking to the core four. When the season was over last year, I was one of the people up there saying, maybe we should break it up or maybe explore options. But they stuck to it and they said, no, we think it's just a coaching issue. And I'm glad they did, obviously. Obviously, they know more about it than I do. And, the only knock on the Cavs so far this year up until the trade deadline was, they really need they need a wing. They need a starting wing, somebody about 6'8" that could play it two ways, could play off the ball, doesn't need the ball in his hands to be great, but just for mainly defensive purposes, in my opinion. Somebody who could shoot the three still, especially in the corner. And they go out and get, steal DeAndre Hunter, 27-year-old, really good two-way wing in the prime of his career from the Atlanta Hawks. Only give up Karis LeVert, who was on a one-year deal, George Niang, who everybody loves minivan, but he I don't know how much playoff minutes he would have got against a team like the Celtics or anything like that. So I wasn't too opposed to them trading Niang, especially to get a guy like DeAndre Hunter, who's already on a contract for 3 years and a pretty fair number too. And you got your core four locked up, so it was the perfect trade. And I think they gave like a couple second-round picks, but nothing much. So the Cavs are putting all the chips in, and they're going for it all. And so, here we are halfway through the season. We just got done with the All-Star break. Now we're getting towards the back half of the season. And, I look at this Eastern Conference, and I'll pull it up here in a second. But, outside of Boston, I really don't see another team I think that could challenge them. I really don't. I'm not really worried about the Knicks as much. I'm not as worried about I got it right here on the side. Who else is up there? Milwaukee maybe in a matchup. Milwaukee's a good matchup for us, but because we do kind of equal out in some ways. But I don't know. Milwaukee's been really inconsistent. Indiana maybe. I don't know, but I'm curious to see what Tuna has to say about that. So Without further ado, the real audience, please welcome it into the show. Tune in sports. Tune in, welcome on in, brother.
What's going on, Joseph, man? I appreciate you for having me on your show today, man. What's
No, I
going on,
appreciate
brother?
you coming on, my brother. I appreciate you coming on, and let's get into it now. Before we get to the Cavs, I got to ask you, just because, um, maybe my audience, people maybe who are familiar with you. By the way, if you don't have subscribed to Tune In Sports already, go tune in. In my opinion, the best Cavs content creator out there, covers the Cavs. So
Oh
go
man, you ain't
subscribe
gonna do
to him.
that.
I agree,
I
man. I'm
appreciate
telling you,
it. I
I think you
appreciate it.
the realist. I like guys with your style and everything. I think you guys got you and your guys over there. I know you got a good
Yeah,
audience and guys that come on your
yeah,
panel,
I
but
try, man. I try to do the best I could.
yeah. But I gotta ask you though, kind of your background a little bit. Like, who is Tune In Sports? Obviously, not gonna be right name, but I'm saying like did you grow up a Cavs fan? Did your family grow up a Cavs fan? What made you start the channel? And just kind of the backstory of all that.
Well, I mean, obviously I'm a Cavs fan. I love sports. I love football. I love basketball. Um, and a lot of people be like, "Yo, you're a Cavs fan," but for people that don't know, I'm in Jersey, right? So
Yeah,
um, you don't hear too many Cavs fans being from Jersey,
yeah. I don't think I
right?
do.
So
Other
it's
than
like
you.
yeah, right. So I'm kind of like unique, man. I kind of stand out, right? I'm authentic when you think about it like that. But yeah, I always followed the Cavs, as a kid growing up, um, my whole life, 20 plus years now. Uh, I don't know. The Cavs is just, when LeBron got to the league, I guess that's what you could say. I really became really invested into the Cavs, man. Of course, the Cavs had some great teams before LeBron, but I'm talking about when I
Yeah,
really dived in and became a real Cavs fan is when LeBron came. When he came, he changed everything, and he had Cavs fans around the world, everywhere. Well,
yeah,
for some of them LeBron fans now,
yeah,
because a lot of people when LeBron left, they did not stay Cavs fans. They LeBron fans. So I think that's what made me stand out from others. When the team went bad, I stayed with the team, and I never left. And I just fell in love with Cleveland. I just fell in love with the Cleveland Cavaliers and the players on the team. Um, so yeah, man. Yeah, tuna
wow, that's
sports.
yeah. So, well, I was gonna follow up with that real quick. So, even when LeBron left, you still stayed with the team. Were you still a fan of LeBron and the Cavs, or how did that go?
Of course, of course, of course. I was a fan of. I was still riding with the team through the bad times. And we had the bad times, and when the team, when the city, had they fair, had words for LeBron. They didn't like what LeBron did. I was on
Right,
that same time, and I didn't like that LeBron left Cleveland to go to Miami. Mind you, I'm younger, but at the
right,
time, yeah. But as I get older now, I'm not too like upset about about it, about LeBron leaving to go to Miami because I think about the Cavs. They could have done better with management. But yes, I stayed the Cavs fan, but I still follow LeBron to Miami here and there. I'm a LeBron fan.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
never going to change. I love LeBron, man. But
for sure.
Cavs fan, like that's what I am, man. I stick with the Cavs. Through the good times and bad times, man. And we had the year he left, and then fast forward, he came back, delivered a championship to the city. One of the greatest, if not the greatest comeback, in NBA history. He left again. I was a little salty, Joseph. I'm not gonna lie.
I was, I was a little salty too because I was like, man, you gotta finish it out here.
Yeah, right. I was salty, man. But look, I got over it though, cause
Yeah,
at the same time, you would have to like he did deliver on his promise. He gave the city a
right,
championship, right? Of course, he had other guys that help out with that, but as a, I had to. I don't know, cause with Kobe passing, I just think like you just gotta appreciate these guys, man.
right.
And I'm appreciate like you gotta appreciate their greatness while they still here, right?
Mm.
And just give them their flowers, man. I was salty when he left, but again, I got over it, man. Business, what sometimes it's about the business. So I'm grateful for that championship. I love the new cast team we have now. Him leaving. gave us an opportunity to have another era of great Cavs players with great Cavs basketball being played at the moment.
So when did you start tuning sports? I'm just real quick. Was it? I mean, what made you start to really, what I want to really cover this team and take my, your passion for it onto the mainstream?
Well, yeah, I started tuning sports. I'm gonna say I started around 20, I think 18, but I started it, but I wasn't like, as you know, on this YouTube, streets, man, you have to be consistent, and I wasn't as consistent as I should have been, right? I
Mm.
started it, I would do videos every now and then, you know, and I think, fast forward last 2 years, I've been more consistent than ever. But I started around 2018. I I was talking, I just hanging out, talking with my friends. We all, talk sports or play sports coming up.
Yeah.
So, like a round table, and then I just said, I love the Cavs, so let me cover the Cavs more. Because at first I was covering everybody, and I still do cover everybody, but now
Mm.
today, currently, I cover the Cavs, the most, but I still, cover other teams. But before I was covering just everybody, so the Cavs coverage it wasn't like that consistent as it is today. I was covering every team back then.
Okay. Nice. That's a pretty good backstory there. And but I was like you though, man. I when LeBron left for LA, I was kind of pissed too. I remember sitting there that day and it was kind of like a fan, like somebody just ripped your heart out and ran away with it to L.A. And obviously the mainstream media loved it, and that's what made it worse. They were just pouring more salt in that wound. But but I will say though, I think what they've done now, we'll get into the Cavs now. I think what's made this whole thing sweet to me, tune in, is when LeBron left, everybody said, and I mentioned this on your show, everybody said we were done. Remember, it was going to be a 5-10 year rebuild. The Cavs will never win anything again. They're nothing without LeBron, blah, blah, blah. And to see what they've become now and how Dan Gilbert and the front office and the decisions they made, the trades, the drafting, the development, it's absolutely incredible what they've done here. And now you see where they are now. And, you kind of look a little, I know the Lakers won the, bubble championship and stuff, but really, I mean, I could say the Cavs have done a much better job since he's left than the Lakers have done with him out there. Uh, I think to now. I mean, I know they just acquired Luca, which changes a lot, but still, I mean, I think what the Cavs have done, and to me, it's made it so much sweeter because of what everybody said when he left that we were, pretty much a dirt franchise, and they stuck to their guns and really fleeced a lot of teams and trades, and so. I'm curious, what's your recap of the season so far? Just kind of the Cavs, the state of the Cavs right now.
Yeah, man. I'm not gonna lie. If you like going back before the season started, man, I think you mentioned that you was one of the people that was saying that you should break up the core four, right?
Yeah, I said they should consider it for the right player. I wasn't somebody said they should just blow it up, but I thought
Mhm.
because my whole thing was getting that wing right. You know what I mean? Like back then, it was names were like Brandon Ingram or Cam Johnson still was brought up back then. But I think a lot of us thought that you would have to give up a piece of the core four to get one of those guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, that's where I was
Right.
with it.
Yeah, like beginning, before the season started officially, I was just like, I was like, yo, it is what it is. The Cavaliers not making the moves like other teams. You're looking around the other teams are making moves around the league, and the Cavs is just staying basically put. And I was
Yeah.
just like, man, I don't know how the season's gonna turn out. I wasn't, I was confident that we'll be good, but I wasn't sure like if we was gonna be able to take that next step that we wanted to take with this group. So I'm just like, and then the reports came out after the season ended about JB Bickerstaff and Darius Garland wanted out. So I'm just like, okay, if Darius wants out, trade the guy, But at the
Right.
time, if he never came out and officially said that, was more so Clutch Sports, I guess, putting out reports. So I
Maybe
was
putting
all
heat on
for
the
letting
front
him
office to make a change. Maybe.
go. Right, and I'm like, if the guy didn't ask out, then I'm not just gonna push him out. I'm not just gonna go by he say she say until it comes
Right.
out the guy mouth, right? And
Yeah.
Donovan still wanted Darius. Donovan didn't want Darius to leave, and Donovan didn't want Jared Allen. Jared Allen been in trade rumors. He didn't want Jared Allen to leave.
Right.
And I was just at it like, yo, I was going into the season. It is what it is, And I'm not gonna lie, I was not expecting the way the Cavs started out this season. Like they started
I
out on
wasn't.
fire. I wasn't.
I don't think any
It
of
was
us
it
were. I
was
mean,
bothering
anybody
me.
who says they thought they'd be this good, I think you're. I thought they'd be better, but I'm like you. I didn't think they'd be, sitting here where they are right now, already a 45 win team, almost pretty much after the All Star break.
Right, unless they got a book from like Back to the Future or
Yeah,
something like that,
yeah,
man. But yeah,
100%.
nobody should expected a season like this from these guys. And I thought that when they hired Kenny Atkinson, that was the pick that I wanted initially. James Borrego, I was cool with, but Kenny Atkinson was my first pick, and it turned out it been a right pick so far, and what he been able to do with this offense, man. We was at the we was pretty, down in the offense rating, under JB. JB was more so a defensive coach, and with Kenny
Yeah,
Atkinson, he got
more of a
this
grit and
group
grind. Yeah,
number one exactly, gritting guy, gritty grind. But Kenny Atkinson got this group to number one. I was like I said, I wasn't expecting to be like this, and they definitely surprised me because it's basically the same group. It's the same group from last year.
right.
Or yeah. Okay, you added Todd Jerome being bad because he was out with the ankle injury, and you drafted Jalen Tyson and stuff like that. But it's the same group from last year. It's just a different coach, different actually a different set of coaches because this is a whole new coaching staff as well, right?
Yeah,
So yeah, I was surprised how they was just like coming in and just dominating teams. And I really wanted them to beat the Celtics that first game, man. And I just had a feeling we was gonna lose, be it on TV. I don't know. I had a feeling like that. Darius
yeah.
having that interview, and they asked telling him how many points he gonna score. I just felt like, ah, man, kind of jinxed it right there, man. But it's all good, man. You can't win them all, man. I don't think people was expecting them to pass the Warriors when it comes to the record, but.
Yeah, I agree, and that's why I like the hire because I think this cast team really. And you and I have talked a lot behind the scenes on your show a couple times, and I love coming over there and joining. And but like I think it was on our last show when we reacted to the Hunter trade on your last show. Excuse me. Was yeah, I say all the time. This cast team reminds me a lot like the Warriors with the pieces they're adding when they first started in 2014. And I said Ty Jerome kind of reminds me like the Sean Livingston kind of guy at the bench, bigger guard, 6'5". Could really
Mhm.
cause a lot of problems on both ends. I think he's obviously better shooter than Shaw Livingston. Now, Shaw
Oh
Livingston was
yeah,
an
yeah,
elite defender and had a killer. I mean, the pull up mid range from Shaw was
yeah,
killer. I mean, one of the
seriously.
best I've ever seen. To be honest with you,
Yeah,
from a backup point
started
guard.
going in every time.
Yeah, and so the one thing missing, and you and I kept speculating about it and texting a lot about it was, man, what wing can we get? What wing can we get? And I look at this DeAndre Hunter trade, and again, it reminds me a little bit of the Iguodala, Harrison Barnes kind of wing they had, and that was the one thing they needed. And the fact that they got him for what they got him for, but also because I got some comments in here I want to get to too. Shout out to Gabe's in the chat. He said, for someone who hasn't paid the most attention this year, what do y'all think the Cavs are still missing? A piece to make it deep in the playoffs, or is it DeAndre Hunter ad? What we needed was DeAndre Hunter what we needed. So I'm curious. I mean, obviously everybody's heard your reaction to the trade, but how surprised were you they got him for what they got him for? And to answer like Gabe's question, do you think they really need anything else now?
Oh yeah, I was surprised. Well, yeah, I was honestly you probably could have got more. I was surprised that we was able to get Deontay Hunter for that 3 second round picks. Second round picks and second round picks and two pick swaps that might not mean nothing. Kaz LeVert though, I didn't want to give up Kaz LeVert, man. I really didn't want. You know how I am about Kaz. I told you.
Yeah. No,
I'm
I
a
like
fan of
Cares
Kaz,
too,
man.
Ohio boy. Yeah,
Right, I'm a fan of him, man. But
yeah, yeah,
I told you, that's the cost because that's what it looked like. We said him or Max Strus, and then I was like, I'd rather have Max Strus because you can't trade a player of that caliber. Like I'm talking about what he brings to the team as far as spacing the floor out. Being
hmm
I don't know if you want to call him an elite shooter, but for the volume he takes, he's a pretty good shooter, and the effort he gives on the floor. Yeah, I didn't want to give that up, man. So I was cool with like choosing him over Karras, man. Um, And the Yang, the Yang is a good guy, man. Good guy, man. Shout out to the Yang, man.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to
Um,
Minivan, one of the
shout out to
greatest
shout out
nicknames
to
I've ever heard.
Minivan, G Wagon. Shout out to him,
Yeah,
man. But I seen the last game I saw, he did pretty good over in Atlanta.
he
I think with
did.
the trade, I think both teams. I think we won the trade, obviously,
Right.
but I think both teams got something out of the trade. Atlanta's still getting two good players. Kaz LeVert is inconsistent, but he's still bringing that being able to get his shot off the dribble. Crane is being able to be a shot creator for them, man, and he plays defense. He gives effort out there, and Yang being able to space the floor out, and being a power forward for them, man. And of course, we get DeAndre Hunter, something we needed,
Yeah.
a wing. And what was the
Well, I
what
was
was the
gonna. I
second?
mean, well, you answered the one part. But I was gonna ask you this follow up. Do you think they need anything else? I mean, and before you answer that, though, I also got a clip here. I meant to play this. I got from. I'm sure you probably saw this, but the audience didn't see it real quick. Kevin Garnett and Matt Barnes, they gave their reaction to the trade, and I thought what Kevin Garnett said here was, I mean, pretty high praise for the Cavs from an NBA legend here, who's also a former Celtic. So here's what Garnett had to say about the trade, real quick.
When I saw this, bro, man, listen,
This was a steal of the
yeah,
trade
man,
for me.
listen, Cleveland Cavaliers won the trade.
Mhm.
The Cavs are in the conversation,
Yes.
and it is a serious threat, bro.
Mhm.
If he does what he did in Atlanta, bring into the situation,
20 points, 5 rebounds a game, or nearly 20 points.
you got to play
Long,
him, bro.
athletic, you know.
And he a mean guy too, dog. He ain't no like pushover. He's a two-way player. And bro, when you go to switch now, I think one of the things Cleveland had problems with when it came to the Celtics, obviously the Porzingis element makes you so. When you go him and Cornette and they go big, man, Porzingis at the free throw line is damn near like Joel Embiid. Like it's you damn near are at his mercy. And if you give him any room to get it off, it's damn near 8 to 10 that he can hit those. You feel me? Now, bro, Hunter ain't no. Hunter's not a. Lord, I love.
What's he,
a-
6'9", 6'10"?
Yeah.
But he a dog.
Yeah, indeed.
He shit at Wemby.
Yes,
He shit at
indeed.
Wemby and tried to wipe his ass like, hey, boy, listen, man. Listen, the
Yeah.
Cleveland Cavaliers
I love
have
this move.
entered the conversation, bro. Listen,
Mm. And so that's high praise there. He also said, I think he went on to say that's arguably the best starting five in the league. So high praise there from KG. I'm curious your reaction to that, and do you agree with them? I mean, do they really need the second part to that question I asked? Do you think they need anything else?
Well, first of all, shout out to KG because we all
Yeah, shout
know,
out to the legend.
he's a Celtic, right? He always gonna
Right.
be a Celtic, man. And I seen a couple of you know, sh- short clips or short, videos from Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce and them. They always give credit to the cast, man. They always like this new group. It's not the first time, KG, you know, shed some light on Cleveland, man. I think, him being a former Celtic, man, not being, I guess, not biased. He actually, give praise to the cast. I think that's cool. I think that's dope. Um, and yeah, I do agree with them. I think I thought we were ready contenders, man. And I thought that the missing piece was, like we said, a wing, like DeAndre Hunter. You
Yeah.
got that wing now. So as far as needing something, I don't think we need anything to make a deep playoff run right now. I do think that if I had to be like, okay, because we do have roster spots open, okay, maybe let's get another big, right? Let's get
Mm-hmm.
another big. You're not, too fond of Tristan Thompson, coming in. Let's get us another big man. I know the market is not really crazy, but I would say that. But
Yeah.
I think we good with DeAndre Hunter. He solves a lot of problems, and I think Kenny Atkinson is gonna have. He's gonna he got a lot. He got a couple lines he probably gonna be able to have fun with, man. And just having DeAndre Hunter, just think about them guys, Dean Wade, Isaac Coro. Uh, you're always gonna have a defender on the floor, man. You're always gonna have a guy that you could throw at, the Celtics. We got a guy for Tatum. Hunter is he can switch. We have switchable defenders now, so I think that's cool. You can always play small ball and have guys that can switch. So I think Kenny Atkinson
Yeah.
is gonna continue to experiment with these lineups. Once Dean Wade and Isaac Cole come back, I'm curious to see what that look like. And
Right.
what lineup he would go with on the floor. So yeah, I think we good on the trade. I think we good on adding to this team, unless it's a big or somebody else, or like you said, you wanted a veteran, for the locker room, another vet, to add to his locker room. Because I think we had 2 roster spots open, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I know they tried going after Ben Simmons, but obviously he chose the
He's
Hollywood
not
life and
a.
went to the
He don't want to
Clippers.
win.
So
Right.
yeah,
He
he
don't.
don't
He
want to
don't want
win.
to win.
All right, so the hell,
He's
but
not.
no,
He's not
no, just
mentally
kidding.
ready for it.
Yeah, maybe not.
But I'm good. I'm good on that.
Somebody just who's watching texted me and said, "What about Marcus Smart? Are you interested? What do you think of Marcus Smart as a possible option?"
Marcus Smart. See, I mean, for a roster spot, yeah. I mean, he's another guard.
You can put him
You
at the
know,
one or the two. He's got experience.
yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I know he's over in Washington. Is he looking to get a buyout?
Probably, I think they are probably. I mean, you would think they'd buy him out because he really has no value to them.
I would look. I wouldn't be mad because something is better than nothing. I wouldn't be upset, right?
Right.
Me personally, I'm looking more so for the front court. That's how I'm looking at it, right?
Yeah.
More size the better, right?
Well, yeah,
But I
especially
wouldn't be
because
mad.
like Boston too. Not to cut you off, but like what Boston says to
Yes,
add your point, like what KG was saying in that episode, that when they put Cornette at the 5 and put Porzingis at the 4, that's a pretty good lineup. You will, I mean, you might need another big. Maybe you can. I think more for defensive reasons, where you can put at the 4 or the 5
yeah,
to kind of
Cornette,
match
yeah,
that, because you're not going to have Jared Allen and Mobley out there the whole time. You know what I mean? So when you stagger their minutes, you need probably another big. You know what I mean? Probably someone to put alongside Evan, because I would want to keep Evan on Porzingis. So
yes,
probably, yeah, I agree with you. Probably another big.
yeah. Another.
Um,
That's what I'm saying. Another. Because if we thinking ahead, we're not thinking about regular season no more. We thinking about the playoffs. And
right,
if we're gonna be playing Boston, because that's what it looked like. That's a team to beat. We beat them. I think we have a good shot of going to the finals, right? So
right.
that's the team right there.
Yeah, Gabe said like a quote Dwight Howard type of big, or someone who would play a more of a role. Probably someone to just play more of a role. I mean, you agree with that, too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Somebody like to play their role, man. And like I said, somebody that we can actually play though. Like Tristan Thompson, he's long in the tooth. Like I said, I'm not trying to rely on Tristan Thompson, right?
Oh,
Um,
we already got the Tristan Thompson stuff going in the chat. I'll get to that in a second. Uh, well,
oh man,
well, you remember my pop said on your show. Remember he was in the background, and he said
yeah.
he tuned in, shot the jersey. He said, "Tune in. What the hell are you using that towel waiver for?"
Hey man, he's a good time. Hey, he's good at what he do, man.
Yeah. Waving that towel. And then he said, Anthony said, Tristan Thompson is a Cleveland legend. You show some respect, Jersey. LOL.
I mean, hey, I agree. Hey, fun fact, right? Tristan Thompson, he's from Canada, right? But he used to
Yeah,
be
from
out in
Toronto.
Jersey. Yeah, he used to play for us. He used to play in Jersey. So that's a little fun fact y'all didn't know. He used to play
Wow.
for Jersey.
Huh.
When you think about it, Joseph, not to cut you off, but yeah,
Oh, you're good.
just think about that championship run. We had four. I think what was it? Four. We had 4 guys from Jersey on that championship team.
Yeah, because Kyrie played. He was a legend in Jersey at his high school. I remember watching his high school highlights back when I was in middle school. I was like, damn, this dude's unbelievable.
Yeah, Kyrie still from. I'm right. Yeah,
Yeah,
Kyrie
kind of
be over there.
Kyrie, but I didn't know Tristan. That's why I didn't know that. But here's what I'll say about Tristan though. And during our championship run, I don't know if there was a better offensive rebounder at that time. I thought Rich Paul said it best one time. Why would you extend a guy like Tristan Thompson during that time when we were competing? It was because Tristan Thompson gets you extra. He gets you extra possessions. His
Offensive
offensive
rebound.
rebounding at that time was unbelievable. I mean, he was a great, phenomenal rebounder. Especially I don't know what it was in the offensive end. He just had a knack for, and defensively too. I mean, he could switch out at times with certain matchups.
Yes, he can. Yes, he
But
could.
when
He
we won
could.
that championship, I mean, that game 6 at home, I remember the best game I've ever seen in Cleveland sports history. Just the atmosphere and everything. We won that game 6 to 4-7. I mean, he had a great game. I mean, and I can't remember his exact stats, but I remember he had a monster night. Him and LeBron in the pick and roll. Once they got their chemistry going, it was what's with the shooters around him, and then you got Kyrie and Love. I mean, good luck, you know.
Yeah,
So
it was over once Klay Thompson made that comment. It was
Yeah.
pretty.
Oh yeah. LeBron went out there with his shades on and his headphones, had that meme, just looked
Yeah,
straight
it
ahead.
was pretty much over, man.
Yeah.
Once I seen that, Timothy Mozgov out there saying them big boy screens.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I
Yeah,
was like, yeah,
Mozgov had the best commercial ever. I don't because I know you live in Germany. But he had the local. We always joke about on the show the local restaurant here. It's like a chain. It's called Brewbakers, and he had that commercial, that Brewbakers commercial. He could not spit out the word Brewbakers, and they had him like smash plates and stuff. It was one of the best commercials ever. Go look it up. But Jersey said,
definitely.
laughing out loud, "Yeah, legend." Talking about Tristan Thompson. He said,
Hey, man,
"He's legendary at carrying the luggage." Oh man,
he's a champion, man. He is a
yeah.
champion. He definitely had an impact on championship run.
I
So,
want to shout out Tom K here. We got another fellow New York Cavs fan. He said,
Tom K, man, shout out to Tom. Yeah, Tom from my channel. Yeah, shout out to
oh,
Tom
okay,
K.
shout out to you, Tom." He said, "Just
Hey,
catching
Tom
up."
K, make sure you sub to Joseph.
Yeah, I appreciate if you sub, brother. Appreciate it. We'll love having you on. He said, "But I'm a New York Cavs fan. Came for LeBron, but stayed Cavs fan when he left." And Mike said, "Much respect for staying a fan after LeBron left." But then what
Yeah,
else we got
I
here?
had many battles.
He said, "Glad to see you, Tom. Cleveland's a great city." He said he subbed. Oh, I appreciate you, Tom. Thank you so much, brother.
Yeah, Tom a real one.
Uh,
Tom
yeah,
being these
clap it up.
streets.
Yeah, where's my button at? Clap it up for Tom. But Tom's a real one.
Yeah, shout out to Tom K, man.
But we got Cavs fans all over the country, probably maybe worldwide. I don't know. But
Oh, yeah, I think yeah, definitely a big fan base.
oh
A lot of
yeah,
people that like.
he said if Ben Simmons wanted to win, he would have learned how to shoot a jump shot 5 seasons ago.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
definitely
probably.
like should have worked on his game.
But another name this person texted me, and we're talking about the bigs. What do you think of Christian Wood, who got bought out as a potential big?
Man,
I know
again,
he's been really
I
injury
mean,
prone. We haven't seen a lot of him. He's been hurt. Every time I see the
I
Lakers,
haven't seen him. I
he's in
haven't seen
street
him
clothes.
play.
Yeah,
I haven't seen him play. So I mean,
good
he's good.
talent.
Yeah, on the offense. Yeah, on the offense. I haven't seen. I mean, the injury thing, but again, he'll just be. We're not asking him to start. I wouldn't. I don't think. I wouldn't be mad at it because I'm just thinking about the market. I don't know what's out there. It's not too many because a lot of people already got picked up and or going overseas somewhere. So I wouldn't be mad as a body on a roster. But if I could find somebody, better than Kristen Wood, I would. But I wouldn't be mad at it if that was the
Yeah.
last option.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what they do. I'm sure they're gonna find somebody. Yeah, like Mike said.
Or maybe get one of these maybe convert one of these two-way guys. Maybe I don't know.
He said, "Hell, call Boogie Cousins and see if he's in game shape."
Hey, Boogie Cousins, get out there, give us some five, get out there, get 5 quick fouls,
I
get some
think
bullets.
He brought up Dwight Howard earlier, and I watched Dwight Howard on KG's podcast not too long ago, and Dwight's still in game shape. I mean, he said he's ready for a phone call. I mean, you think Dwight could maybe
Would you
give you
bring the
one
white with
more?
you?
What's that?
I said, would you want the white? Would you
I
bring him
wouldn't
in?
mind it because I think defensively he's still. I think he knows how to. He's just such a smart player. He's one of the greatest defensive bigs of all time. Yeah, I think so. I mean, if he's in shape and he can still come out there and give you a certain 10, 15 minutes, I'm sure he could. And he's a
I
champion.
just don't need the extra shenanigans. I don't need
Yeah.
the, you
I
know what
don't.
I
I'm
mean.
not. I actually, I've really appreciated listening to him on podcasts recently. He seems like a guy who's really grown and really. I don't know. I really like what I've heard from him on like that KG podcast. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's a really good podcast. It's just his experience, and the way he was talking about the game today. I don't know. It's worth the call maybe just to see. Maybe have him come in and do a workout or sit down with him. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
You definitely gotta get a workout. You definitely want to see.
yeah. I mean, you obviously want to see what condition he's in, but if he's in good shape, I mean, you're only asking for this season. It's not like it's gonna be like a long term thing. So it's just more of a plug and play thing. I wouldn't be opposed to it. Um, I don't know. I mean, what do you think, Dwight
It
Howard?
wouldn't be my first option, but if they want to bring him in for a cup of coffee, see how things, then cool. But it wouldn't be my first option for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't be my first option, but I think as slim as the market is,
Right.
if you want that extra security, I mean, why not? I mean, I know him and Tristan were with each other, I believe, with the Lakers at one point. I think Tristan was
Yeah,
there.
they actually was.
Um,
Yeah, Tristan was on the
he was on
Lakers.
that sideline going nuts, you know, waving that towel. But no, he said
Yeah,
Orlando Dwight Howard will be remembered. Yes, he will. He was one of the best bigs of his time.
yeah,
Uh,
top 75 player.
how tall is JT Thor? I don't know how tall is he?
He's
Like
he's
6'10"?
like 6'10", 6', yeah, he like around that height. He's pretty tall.
I don't know if they feel ready enough to throw him out there though.
Yeah, I know a lot of fans be calling for him sometimes. They
Yeah,
want to see him. It is what it is. Like that's another thing about Kenny Atkinson too, though, man. He uses his bench. I like the way he gives guys a chance to play, man. Because I don't think JB Biggerstaff would have ever done what Kenny Atkinson has done this season. But Kenny Atkinson actually utilizes his bench.
yeah,
I'm glad to see Tyson get more rest. And he should have got more rest, but when you got guys playing in front of you, it's kind of hard. But
hmm
I've been wanting to see Tyson out there and what he can do.
yeah. I like Tyson a lot. I like his versatility. I like his playmaking for his a guard, and um, I like his versatility. I know you and I both like Jalen Tyson. We think he can maybe. And you called it
Yeah,
from the jump. I gotta give you credit. You said the day we drafted. I remember you. I think we texted that night. You said that's gonna be
yeah,
Karras' replacement, and that's
yeah, yeah. All right, we had that
uh,
conversation. It's crazy,
yeah. And you hit
crazy.
you nailed it. But my last question for you on the Cavs. Obviously, the topic of the show is will they dethrone the Boston Celtics? And I got the Eastern Conference standings here. I don't know if you could see that. I'll make a full screen for you. Um, I'm sure
Yeah, I
you
can
probably know
see.
most of them, but so obviously the Cavs are number one right now at 44-10. You got Boston sitting there at second. You got the Knicks at 3. You got Indiana at 4. Milwaukee at 5, and then the Pistons. Shout out to Gergs. That's when he's been one texting me. He's a Pistons fan from Detroit. His
Wow.
Pistons, JB's got him getting right above 500, sixth place there. So shout out to them.
Nah, he
Um,
did.
and in the play-in bubble right now, you got let's see, you got Orlando, Atlanta, Miami, Chicago, Philly's still in the mix there. I think Toronto's below them. So when you look at this playoff scenario, possibly just tune in. I'm curious, what path do you think would you prefer for the Cavs, and will they dethrone Boston?
I mean, I say bring them all on, man. I'm not scared of no one, man. I'm ready for anyone, anybody, man. I think it's going to be a Cavs versus Boston Eastern Conference Finals. I think, but like I said, I said this in the beginning of the year. It's funny because people they were so down, like they be lying that they say different. But I had like a couple of my peers or a couple of people that do content, man. They wasn't buying the cash, stock, man. They had Sixers over us. Of course, Sixers got injuries, but they still are not a great team. They had the
Yeah.
Celtics, the Knicks. They had the Bucks over us. They had the Pacers over us, and they had the Magic over the Cavs. I remember watching Gilbert Arenas show. He had, you know, he said he didn't even have the Cavs making the playoffs.
Oh my
On
God.
Gilbert Arenas show, I
Yeah,
had clips of it.
Gil's a little wild. He gives them off wall take.
It was crazy.
They get the Luca trade done. He's a big time Lakers homer. He's sitting there talking about how the Lakers are better than the Celtics.
I like Gil, man. He's funny. He's entertaining.
Yeah,
He's
he is
entertaining.
entertaining. Yeah, I'll give him that. He is and he was a hell of a player, but he is entertaining for sure. He says some wild stuff, but but I'm curious. So if we look at the standings here, which first round matchup would you be most? I was saying not scared, obviously, but you said you're not scared of anybody. But which one do you think would give them the most challenges? Would it be Philly?
Oh,
Uh, what do you think? Maybe
I
well,
don't think Philly. Philly.
do you?
Philly.
Because
Philly.
I think
I don't know
Atlanta's
what
going
Philly.
to drop,
So okay, you
and
think Atlanta gonna drop,
yeah, I
and
think
you
they
think
might
Philly
drop because
gonna
they're
win?
hurt right now, and I think they're signaling they're going to rebuild with that trade they made. Not rebuild, but what I mean, probably look to the offseason, maybe get a free
Yeah,
agent.
they put Jalen Johnson is out. Yeah.
Miami's different team now. I mean, I'm not really sure about Chicago. I mean, I look at the Sixers; they could just get healthy. You would think. So, I mean, do you think them? Is that the one you?
Joseph, I'm not scared. I'm not worried about the Sixers. They are not a threat, man. Well, we talking about giving us trouble, but like I'm not worried about that team. They are all over the place, man. I
Yeah.
do not trust Paul George. The guy has I don't know, man. The guy's been he hasn't been great. Like Tobias is having I believe right now Tobias is having a better season than Paul George. The guy hasn't been able to step up when Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey been out. The guy scoring 2 points, or he's only taking 7, 8 shot attempts. I know he has a new injury. I think something with his pinky or something like that. But it's
Hmm.
just like I'm not trying to make no excuses for this guy, man. I mean, even when before the
Yeah.
injury, like if your guys is out, right? You
Hmm.
expect the guy to make up for the offensive production. I know he rebounds. I know he plays defense, but I shouldn't be seeing Kelly Oubre and Yabusele and these guys outscore you all the time. These
Yeah.
guys put up 30 for versus a guy you paid the max to, who's only getting you like 2 to 12, 15 points sometimes. So I'm not really like we played them. I'm not scared. We not even sure they're gonna make out the play. But
Right.
I don't know. But I'm not scared of that Philly team. They don't. They have old guys. The Jeremy Kane
Well,
guys out.
yeah, and even when they're healthy, I mean, Embiid's a great player,
He's a
but
great player. Like
he just
healthy.
hasn't elevated, to my opinion, to the Jokic type status. He hasn't.
And I always thought Jokic was better than Embiid.
I did too. I liked
All
Jokic
the
back
way, yeah,
in when I remember
everything.
watching him pat just the way back in like 2019. I think I was watching it was LeBron's first year in LA, and I was watching him against
Mhm.
the Lakers one day. He just absolutely obliterated. I mean, I was like, geez, this guy's gonna be a freak show. The more he goes on, just with his passing, this I mean, it's his the way he controls the game and just. Um, but I don't. Embiid to me is just never elevated. Yeah, I don't trust him in the playoffs. I don't.
Does he make his teammates better?
Right, exactly. I don't. I haven't seen it, and I don't. I just don't see it translating. I don't know how much longer Philly's going to go on with this whole thing. I mean, we've heard about the
I would trade
process.
both of
That's
them.
been the process for 10 years now.
Yeah, that the process been. Yeah, I don't trust the process. I've been stopped trusting the process since Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I mean, it's to me what it's like Browns fans who say we should keep bringing in retread quarterbacks and keep dragging on all this stuff, and it's just like after a
Mhm.
while, it's like okay, it's not working. It only gets you so far.
That's something
You
different.
know what I mean? So, but so you're not worried about any first round matchup, and I agree with that. I think the way we're rolling right now, but you look in the second round, possibly maybe the Pacers, and Mike said the Pacers are always a bad matchup for us. I'm curious, what do you think of maybe the Pacers or is another team in the mix there? Maybe you'd be a little concerned about outside of Boston.
I'm not concerned about the Pacers. Yeah, the Pacers they definitely they're another team, that play like to get downhill and stuff like that. They're an offensive team. I know they have Siakam. They have Siakam. But I'm not really worried about the Pacers. Our top guys versus their top guys. I think we can out them. I think I would say the Orlando Magic. I know we played them last year and they took us 7 games.
Yeah,
Of course, that was under JB Bickerstaff, but Orlando Magic is an interesting team. I think Paolo is the next big thing. The guy's like, I'm not gonna say he's Carmelo, but he gives me Carmelo vibes a
he
little
reminds me
bit.
of Tatum a little bit too.
Tatum, yeah,
Tatum,
Carmelo.
Melo, just he's a phenomenal. Yeah, Paulo's he's a scary talent.
He's a star. Yeah, he's an
Yeah,
upcoming star.
and they got
He's
Wagner
young,
too.
Wagner. Yeah. So just looking at what happened last year, right? They took us 7 games, right, and we won all the games at home. It was basically what we fighting for now, home court advantage. Like that's why home court, and that's another thing. Getting number one seed for this season is very important because you're gonna want that home court. You're gonna want that
Yeah,
advantage, especially if you get, let's say, if the Cavs or when we do get to the finals, you're gonna want that home court advantage. So yeah, I think that's important. But I think the Magic, they big, that they have, because long athletes have given us problems.
yeah,
They big, they could shoot. They had Tristan da Silva, who I thought the Cavs was going to, probably try to take, but that didn't happen. I like Tristan da Silva over there. Guy that can stretch the floor out. They added like another besides KCP is a pretty lengthy guy. Like they have nothing
yeah,
besides
championship experience too with him.
they have this experience and they physical. They play physical. So and
Yeah,
playoffs about physicality, right?
yeah, and
So
I think too that's why the Hunter trade was so important because I think about that matchup last year. I go back to that game 5 at home.
mhm.
Paulo went off the whole game, and the last 2 minutes of the game, JB made a great adjustment and put Mobley was guarding Banchero, and Banchero didn't score again. That was the game where Mobley had that game-winning block at the end there, and I remember that last 2 minutes, it just changed the whole game. Banchero shot the ball a good amount, obviously, because he was the go-to guy at the end, but he couldn't get a bucket in the basket. He couldn't get the ball in the basket. I mean, Mobley was that longer size on him, and now do you have that guy in Hunter who's 6'8", 6'9". It makes it's less stress on Mobley. Now you have more versatility. I think that's gonna be, and they're just a better team this year, like you said. But I mean, the Magic still, I agree. I think the Magic, just because they played us too, they're gonna want us. They're gonna want to see us again. That would be an interesting matchup.
I don't think we had the Dean Wade. I think Dean Wade was out, right? I don't think we had Dean Wade
I
during
can't
that
remember the
series.
Diener was playing or not.
Boston series.
I just remember seeing Banchero shooting over Max Strus. It was like watching a guy shooting over a chair.
Yeah, that's and that's why the Hunter trade the point. I don't want to see no guy. I don't want to see no guards guarding these bigger players, man. Again,
Right.
Hunter like that. That's why the trade is important too, man. Having guys that you can switch out, Hunter's definitely gonna make a big difference in the playoffs. I believe it. Yeah,
So,
but the Magic.
what percentage do you give right now? How much do you think the Cavs will dethrone the Boston Celtics? What percentage would you give it right now?
See, I don't want to be biased, right? Because I could be biased.
Right. It's all good.
I don't know. Like, I think, like, with the trade, adding DeAndre Hunter, when he does, I know it's some, conversation about him starting or do y'all want to come off the bench and stuff like that. Me personally, I think he should start. That's just my opinion. But I'm having him in the lineup, and just having him, like, I think we have a better chance of throwing on the Boston Celtics. Before we made the trade, I had Boston beating us. I
Right.
didn't think we had enough to beat Boston or had that player, the missing piece. But now adding Hunter, I think we have a way better chance. I think that the Cavaliers can. I think Boston can be got. I think they can be got. I think it could be a 7-game series. I think it still can go either way, in my opinion, man. Go either way, man. They like to live by that three. I think they can be got. 'Cause, they live by that three. They like to shoot shots.
Yeah.
That's what they do. They run the five out. They got Porzingis. I mean, they have. I think the Cavs got the best starting five now, but they had one of the best top fives, in the NBA. So I think it's gonna be a crazy series. But I think 50-50. You said percentage. I think 50-50. 'Cause I think it could go either
Yeah.
way.
I'm going to say 55-45 Cavs. The reason why I'm giving the Cavs the nod is because, and shout out to Humble's in the chat. Shout out to Humble.
Out the Humble.
Humble is the
real
man. Yeah, go you guys. Next time you go to TuneNSports, look out for Humble. He'll be up on the panel probably or in the chat from Cleveland.
Shout out to
Funny
Humble.
guy too. I love listening to Humble. But
Yeah,
shout out to
he's
you.
a funny guy.
But I'm gonna say 55-45 because I look at this Boston situation. They're a great team. I just think the Cavs are the hungrier team. And I think Boston, they already got that monkey off their back. They just had to win one, right? The Tatum and Brown just had to win one. Now they're in the Boston, lure. You know what I mean? Just like this KG and the big three and they had to win one championship to be putting that, get their jerseys retired and be part of that tradition out there. Not saying they're not hungry to go back to back, but it's so hard to go back to back, number one. But also, two, you look at their situation. I mean, the ownership, they're selling that team for a reason because they can't afford the team moving forward. They're going to have a $400 million payroll plus payroll bill. And even in a city like Boston, that's pretty expensive. That's why he's trying to sell the team. And I just don't see that duo being together much. I think eventually Brown's going to want to do his own thing. I would think maybe because, he got gypped from the USA thing. He got, he's been kind of shaded a lot, Brown, in my opinion. Not getting maybe as much credit as he deserves. Especially, like I said, the USA thing was a big knock, not by his own doing, but I thought it was something Trace pissed about. But I just think the Cavs are the hungrier team. I think they're going to obviously be a hell of an outing to beat them, but I just think they're at a place now where it's kind of like we won the championship last year. We got the monkey off our back, and we got some financial things moving forward. We win, obviously great, but I just think the Cavs want it a little more. I think it just means more to the Cavs this year.
I agree with you. I think the Cavs do want it more. I think they are hungry. I still, think Boston. When the playoffs are a different, story, right?
Well, and the Cavs,
They,
remember, weren't healthy when they played them last year either.
you're right.
Yeah,
They wasn't healthy, but to be fair, they was missing Porzingis,
right.
right?
And I don't
Just
think
to
we
be
would have won
fair.
anyways, but I think the Cavs just have that's just a
But
little
look,
extra
hey,
little extra
they gave us
motivation.
hope.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the game was hope, man. Donovan was out, and of course, Jared Allen didn't play, right? So yeah, and we was able to see what Mobley could do, right? Having the
Right.
ball to himself. But yeah, even when you look at the regular season games, they always talk about the Cavs, they can't beat Boston. But meanwhile, every time we played the Boston Celtics this season, we've been missing Dean Wade and Isaac Okoro. So we've been missing our wing defenders every time we played them and lost. But nobody brings that up. But
That's
now,
true.
we get to see them. We get to see them again. The next couple games we have the Nets coming up. We have the Knicks. We had the Grizzlies, the Magic, and we had the Celtics. And these all gonna be TV games except for the Nets game, right? So we're
Mm.
gonna see both healthy rosters with the Boston Celtics versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. Dean Wade and Isaac Carl should be back. They should be back.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see, what this matchup look like again, right? With a fully healthy roster. But yeah, I think the Cavs, as far as hunger, everybody. I know Donovan wants it, man. You got Donovan. You know, his numbers have dropped, but he's playing within the offense. It's all about sacrifice, right? So
Right.
this team is playing together, man. They believe in Kenny Atkinson. Even with the last game against the Toronto Raptors, if you look at them post games, a lot of them players were saying how they felt like they could have done better. Like they gave
Mm.
their effort basically like a B. Like they wasn't satisfied. They said they had a point. They wasn't satisfied. They felt like they could have done more because that's they put an expectation on themselves. That's the expectations they had for themselves. They feel like they could be better. And we it's not and mind you, we number one in we number one in the East. So
Right.
these guys still has expectation to continue to play at a high level. I think the mentality is definitely I think they locked in for it. So coming out of this All-Star break, I think they're gonna continue to try to play, at a level they expect to play.
Yeah, I agree. And great points there. I appreciate you staying on. I didn't mean to hold you this long, but
Nah,
obviously the
hey
chat was wrong.
man, you come over, it's all good, man. You talk about the
But
Cavs,
well, before I get you out of here, though, if anybody wants to call in real quick, obviously I got a hotline, and if you want to call in and ask TuneIn a question real quick, just call in, state your question, where you're calling from, and you got a question for him real quick before I get him out of here. And the hotline's open.
The request lines are now open. KGFJ Soul Radio.
Again, if you want to call in and talk to TuneIn, call in right now before I get him out of here. 216-532-5550. Call into the show right now. It's your chance to ask him a question. But I appreciate you coming on, brother. And also, well, we already got somebody calling in, so never mind. I'll get to the call. Let's see here.
Call from
Nissan.
To accept, press 1.
All right, somebody's calling from the store. You're welcome. Welcome into the real. Who's calling in?
This is Mike Antonase.
Oh, it's Mike. Mike, welcome. Thanks for calling in the real. It's a professional fan. You guys know him over here at the real. Mike, what's your question for TuneNSports?
My quick question is, what do you think is going to be the Cavs? I assume that us and Boston are going to come to a head at some point in the playoffs. I think everybody who's an NBA analyst has kind of agreed on that fact. What do you think is going to be our plan, especially for Evan Mobley going up against Kristaps Porzingis? Because every time that matchup is there, Evan Mobley isn't able to show up, and the team struggles mightily when Kristaps is in there and Evan's on him. So I'm just curious how we're going to get around that. Does DeAndre Hunter really change it that much to the point where it's not going to be as an effective strategy for the Celtics? Just like to hear his opinion. But thank you as always.
All right, make sure you guys stay tuned in for Mike's show this week too. Professional fan. But thanks for calling in, Mike. Tune in. Your response.
Yeah, man. The Evan Mobley thing, man. Yeah, assuming we do go up against Boston, man. I think Evan Mobley is gonna be I think he's gonna come ready, man. I know the last showing, the last showing against the team, it wasn't good, but he did bounce back. I think that very next game, who did we play? I think we played. Did we play Detroit? He bounced back.
Remember
They
we
got
pulled
him
that out.
involved. Yeah, they got him involved. I think with the thing with Evan, man, you just got to stay confident. They even said they was gonna make sure Ev get the ball more, man. You just got to feed Ev
Yeah,
the
yeah,
ball, man.
yeah. You're talking about this month, right? The one we lost to. Yeah.
Yeah, because he didn't have a
Yeah, that's
great.
when. Garland hit that game winner at the half.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
Mobley
did.
had. He had 16 shots, went 10. Excuse me, 10 to 16, 3 of 5 from the three. He had 30 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists.
Yeah, Mobley was able to bounce back. Yeah, you just got to get him involved, man. Feed the big man. Confidence been big with Mobley this year, man. He's been more confident than ever, man. Uh, we saw he was able to do in the playoffs last year, man. He had a career high, right? In that
Yeah.
playoffs, against that Boston Celtics defense, man. With space on the floor, we see what he could do with the ball over space. He's attacking more. He's able to put the ball on the floor. His 3-point percentage is up, man. I think just having Mobley involved, man. And I trust whatever Kenny Atkinson. I trust Kenny Atkinson, man. Whatever he want to do, he got the plan. He has that in his back pocket. With this Boston Celtics team, man. But I just think, yeah, you got to get the bigs involved. Because the guards gonna be the guards. The guards gonna be able to do what they do.
Right.
Make sure we get Ev, involved more, man. And Ed should be confident, going into these playoffs. And I'm curious to see what this last game, right? This game that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be on. Yeah, it's gonna be on.
Well, big one Friday night at home versus the Knicks. Then you got the Friday after that, the 28th at Boston on ESPN 7:30.
Right.
And then we also before that, man, you got some some tough games. So you got the Knicks Friday night. You got Sunday. They're on ESPN again. They're on 4 straight. After Thursday night's game at Brooklyn, the Cavs are on 4 straight national televised games. So ESPN Friday night at home against the Knicks. Sunday at home on ESPN 7 o'clock. So that's good at night against the Grizzlies. And then Tuesday they're on the road at Orlando on TNT. And then Friday after that on the 28th, they're at Boston on ESPN at 7:30. Yeah, so that's gonna be a pretty cool stretch here for the Cavs. I mean, it's back to like LeBron days when you're, you're on
Nice
national
little
television that much.
exposure, yeah.
So
TV time. Hey, we ain't complaining.
right,
Yeah, I definitely
but
want to see the games.
what's that?
No, I definitely want to see the games and the Boston matchup coming up. We get, like I said, we get to see them with 2 fully healthy rosters, hopefully.
Yeah, what for sure. But I appreciate you for joining, brother. I gotta ask you real quick too, because I feel like I have to ask this question since you're an NBA fan. Your thoughts on the All-Star game? I know it's been a big hot controversy in sports the last couple of days. I know Draymond Green said on live that night he thought it sucked, the format and everything. I wasn't really a fan of it. I mean, I didn't watch it, but I went back and watched. I was actually live on here, but I didn't really have a lot of interest. Obviously, it didn't help LeBron sitting out last minute.
Yeah, that was a
Just
tough. Yeah.
just curious your thoughts real quick as an NBA fan in general, just the whole NBA All-Star, this whole format, just the whole thing the other night.
I mean, this it hasn't been great product, over the last couple of years. I think the last solid, I guess you could say good All-Star game for me was when they had it in Cleveland. Of course, LeBron, came
Yeah.
back and he hit his shot, and Curry put on the show, I believe. I think that
75
was the
greatest.
last.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. So that year in Cleveland, right? I think that was a
And
good
that had a
year.
lot of buzz that weekend. I mean, it was like a worldwide thing. Not because probably because the 75 greatest, but just LeBron back home. And I remember living here that weekend. Just it was a different energy, just a different it had that feel like, and it hasn't had that since to me.
Yeah, it was a little, yeah. My uncle had went down there for the All Star. It was it was that was I think that was the last good one for me though. And then you could bring up I forgot the other one when I think after Kobe passing we had the
Yeah,
Kobe Award, of
2020
course.
Chicago, I think it was. Yeah,
Kawhi Leonard won the All Star MVP, I think, right? So
yeah,
it's just that like as you watch it like over the years, man, it just I don't know. It just don't feel the same anymore, man. It's
yeah,
like what can you do to make it better, man? And you hear them you hear it all the time. If the players don't care, why should the fans care? Y'all
yeah.
don't take it serious. Like I do hate that they don't. The players on the floor is not. I get it. You don't want to get hurt or whatever it is. Like they're not
Right.
playing defense. It's just like you just out there. You just out there because you're an all star or whatever. You made the all star appearance, or you got invited to an all star game, and you just out there. You're not playing defense. You're not taking it serious. You're doing dumb stuff. I think them games from back in the day was definitely
Yeah.
more. More live, the early 2000s, or you can find a 90s All Star game. Like those games, they actually they actually played defense. They actually like took it serious. Like, and you fast forward to now, it's just like, how can you say the All Star game, man? How can you say the All Star weekend? Because even a slam dunk, and shout out to Matt because he did say the
He's a
slam
freak,
dunk
dude.
contest.
He's a freak.
He's
He
a
jumped
monster,
over. He didn't just jump over the hood of the car. He jumped over the entire car.
and
I mean,
Mobley.
yeah. I mean, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, man, he's amazing. For his height, to do that at his height too. So
Yeah.
it's
And when
it's
when it's
like
something like you make a whole living off. I mean, I know he plays in the NBA. He's like in and out of the league and stuff. But
the G League,
like,
yeah.
your biggest thing is just a dunk contest every once a year. You get paid all this money for. I mean,
Hey man,
he's got a gig. But
we know who he is. He three-peated. I
right.
think yeah, the slam dunk contest. Yeah, the slam dunk contest not even the same. Like I don't because the last good slam dunk contest was 2021.
2016, I think.
Well, if we going back to Levine, Aaron Gordon, then that's one of the yeah
That was
that
the
was the
last, to me, like one you think about like in the history books. That to me,
history
that's
book.
because that's what
Yeah,
it should be. That was the last great one
even though
to
Aaron
me.
Gordon got robbed, but yeah.
Right. That was the last like a story. Everybody watched it. And Humble he said All Star game in Cleveland. The Cleveland fan base makes anything special. I totally agree with that. And he said getting a ring this year will be so emotional for many reasons. D Mitch deserves it. If the fans, D Mitch deserves it. The fans deserve it, and we need a ring to say "F you, LeBron, for leaving us."
Hey man,
Shout
hey,
out
it
to
would be
Humble.
nice to win without LeBron. Hey man, I don't got nothing bad to say about LeBron.
But I would add to the All Star thing too. I think what made 2022 also special, outside of it was in Cleveland, the whole LeBron thing was there was tradition brought in that weekend. The NBA
It
tradition,
was.
the history, and that's the one thing I think the NFL does a lot better than the NBA. And I think if the NBA would do a better job of keeping its tradition, East versus West, the way it's
They should
always
go back
been,
to that.
and
Yeah.
bringing in your guys and celebrating your league, celebrating the history of your league and the tradition every All Star, I think would add more too because I think these guys would be like imagine if they had before the game like they like how come we didn't see all the Hall of Fame players for the Warriors out on the court for the game being celebrated? You know
They
what I mean? Like
said Magic didn't even show up.
that's what I'm saying. That's terrible. Like and why not have like like the NFL every year at the Super Bowl they announce their Hall of Fame inductees. Why
Hmm.
doesn't the NBA bring like why don't they announce before the game the Hall of Fame inductees, have them come out on the court, have like a little you know what I mean? Like, I think the more they get back to their foundation and their fans, what the fans love, and the celebrating the former players and the tradition, and then carrying it into this next generation, I think it would help these new guys to really be like, hey man, and I mean you got the MVP trophy called the Kobe Bryant Trophy, and it's like Draymond said tonight, that's the award we're giving out, the Kobe Bryant MVP for this game. Like it's, I mean, it's kind of like he like nobody deserves that award the other night because it didn't.
Draymond was speaking truth. He was speaking. He was blunt about it. He came out and said how he felt.
I love what he said about that trophy. He goes, we got the Kobe Bryant MVP trophy for this game. They
Yeah,
don't deserve to
I
be
agree
handed
with
out in
that.
that game. I just think they need to get back to their tradition and celebrate. I mean, I think the more you bring that into the game with the fans love, you know what I mean, and I just think it would add a different I think they're missing that old school element. You want to call it old school or whatever. I think it's just tradition. I think I mean I think you have to have that. The guys that paved the way they competed back then. I mean, you go watch the '87 All Star game. Just the way those guys were out there competing. I mean, it was like hard fouls. I mean, it was just a different mentality. You go to 2020, that was centered around Kobe Bryant. Those guys know you couldn't go out there and put out a shitty performance in that game
Yeah, that's
because
something.
it was a month, not so. It was about a month since he passed. I mean, look how they competed. Like it should be like it should be a standard. It should be. I think it starts with the league though. With Adam Silver, they got to promote that and push it back into the league and influence it.
Nobody should have to tell you to play hard though. Nobody should.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, but I think, if you add more of that old tradition, you know what I mean. I think it would just. It makes it more special. It makes it more. To me, that's what separated 2022. Why it could be the last great one we've ever seen. It's because you had that element that night. You don't have that element anymore. They don't. It's like it's more of a comedy show now. You got Kevin Hart out there talking in the middle of the game and all. Like it's almost. I feel like I was watching like a Harlem Globetrotters game. You're pulling a fan out of the stands and he's beating the NBA player in a shootout. I mean, what the hell is going? I mean, like it just seemed more like a entertainment Hollywood comedy skit than it did an actual All-Star game. All-Star game should be celebration of the players in the league, in my opinion. But I don't know.
No, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I mean, it's up to the next generation, I guess. Because this generation, the old heads is leaving. And the LeBron thing, man, to find out that he wasn't going to play at the last minute was just like that.
I think they knew he wasn't going to play because I think Bronny declined the invitation to play in that Rising Stars, whatever it was.
Yeah, the Rising Stars.
I think they knew he wasn't going to play all along. I think LeBron, in my opinion, I think that was kind of like a silent protest. Like, I don't like this format, which I think he voiced he didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was even taking pictures in street clothes.
But
he couldn't even put on a uniform. Like he wanted no parts of that.
But do you feel like it's kind of messed up? Like, do you feel like somebody else could have used that spot? Another player?
Yes, I think yes and no. Yes, because you're right. From the optics of it is bad. You shouldn't wait till last minute. It's number one. It's the fans that pay tickets to go up there. They want to see the guy play.
The last minute.
Yeah, I mean it was a slap in the face to the fans that were interested in the game because he's still the most memorable player out there, the most notable name out there. He's still the face of the league, in my opinion. So not have your face of the league out there was not great. But I say no in a way. This is a defense of LeBron, but I just think LeBron. I don't know who I heard. There's rumors out there possibly that this was in Golden State, and that they have discussed with LeBron and KD and Steph behind the scenes about this format, and that Steph was kind of pushing this format. So and LeBron liked the older format better, where they would pick teams and. Like
I don't think it should be. I don't like that either. I mean, it was cool, but I don't think it should be that.
I just think LeBron probably saw a lot of the theatrics and that it looked more kind of like a shit show. We call it what it is, and I think he just didn't want any part of that. His name attached to any of that because LeBron's trying to. His name's supposed to be up there with the Michael Jordans, the Kobe Bryants, the Magic Johnsons, right? The Kareems, the Larry Birds. He don't want any attachment to that because those guys wouldn't put up with that stuff. Can you imagine what Kobe Bryant or any of those other dudes would have said about that? I mean, Kobe said it before he passed on podcasts. I reposted it today about the All-Star. He hated where it was going. And he said, all this theatric stuff, you should go out there and compete. It should be the best players in the world playing in the highest level pickup game ever.
Right.
And competing at the highest level. And he said he always took it serious. But, I think LeBron didn't want to attach himself to any of that. Now, did he screw over some of the – was it – but I'll be honest with you, I find it hard to believe that they didn't know he wasn't going to play because Bronny declined an invitation. I think they had to signal something to them internally.
Yeah, I remember seeing that him and LeBron. Well, Bronny declined.
Yeah, I mean, LeBron was probably down in LA, out by the beach or whatever, or maybe took a little trip somewhere, and then he flew up to San Fran that night probably. Or maybe he went party at Draymond's house, and I don't know. But I find it hard to believe they didn't know he wasn't going to play. But for the fans that are into it and stuff, it was obviously kind of a slap in the face. But it wasn't a good look overall the whole weekend, in my opinion.
Yeah, man. I mean, it gotta get fixed. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're
Yeah.
gonna come up with a whole new plan for next year. It
Shout
gotta
out to
get
B
fixed.
Skrills. He said it should
Got
have
to
been
be fair.
He said Candace team versus Kenny team and Shaq for Shaq. It didn't make no sense for a bunch of rookies playing a bunch of veteran guys. That was hilarious. Yeah, I didn't get that either.
I
Uh,
agree, man.
I miss the old traditional days when I remember Friday night. It was you had the little celebrity game, whatever. But Friday night it was rising stars versus sophomores, right? And then you
Mhm.
had Saturday night was always supposed to be a great night, which was you had the skills challenge, Taco Bell. Remember, it was the Taco Bell skills challenge. You had the Foot Locker 3-point contest, and then you had the Sprite slam dunk contest. And that was like a must see every year on Saturday night. You look forward to. I used to look forward to it. And then Sunday night, I used to love as a kid. I would always have like practice or something going on that Sunday, and I used to be like, man, I couldn't get home tonight and watch the All Star game. It'd be East versus West. Everybody had the special jersey. I used to go buy the jersey every year, LeBron's. And I remember my dad driving me up to the stadium to get the jersey. Remember they had the special shoes. I remember the All Star Weekend shoes used to be like the shit. People used to stand in line for those shoes, especially back in like 2012, like when LeBron had his and Katie had his. And those things are still reselling now for crazy money. Uh, just it used to have more like of a traditional feel and just a more you knew what to expect, and I think that helped. You liked it. I mean, and it was the best players in the world. You turn on the TV, you're going to see LeBron, you're going to see Kobe, you're going to see KD, you're going to see Tim Duncan, Shaq at one time, KG, and Pierce, the whole crew. So I just don't have that to me. I don't know. I miss that old. Maybe I'm just old school, but I don't know.
Yeah, you're not the only one that feel that way,
I
man.
think nostalgia is important when you're trying to promote a
Uh,
game like that, and they went away from that. Every year, it's just something new. You know what I mean?
well, Adam Silver is running the show, so it's up to him to
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
make it a
Beast Girl says salute, fellas. I appreciate you, Beast Girl. Salute to you. But well, Tuna, I appreciate you coming on, my friend. You want to plug your channel and where they can find you at, what you got going on over there?
Oh yeah, man. Well, TuneNSports, man. I know a couple people here already sub to the channels. Shout out to B Skrills, Humble, and Tom K. But yeah, man, you can find me at TuneNSports. It's all together. You type it in on YouTube or you can Google it. You can find me on Twitter, TuneNSports. You can find me on Instagram, TuneNSports. Everything is TuneNSports, man. So yeah, man. Subscribe. And show love, man. Appreciate Joseph for having me on. Make sure y'all sub to Joseph too, man. If y'all ain't already sub, make sure y'all tap in with Joseph. Good dude, man. Good content creator.
I appreciate that. And like you said, make sure you guys go. I just saw this comment. He said, "Yeah, I actually fell asleep on the All Star events." Oh
Yeah,
man, that's bad.
that's
But
bad.
that's bad. Shout out
That's
to
who
you,
we
Beast
at.
Girls.
That's who we
But yeah, I
at.
appreciate you coming on, brother. And you got anything we gonna add there?
Oh no, I was just gonna say that's sad. That's where we at, man. We not even
Yeah,
entertained anymore for the All Star weekend. Falling
yeah,
asleep.
yeah. Shout salute to you, Tom. He said salute Joseph and tune in. Shout out to you, Tom. Thanks for coming over here, brother. And look forward to see you back. But like I said, make sure you guys go subscribe to TuneInSports. In my opinion, the best Cavs content creator out there, all things NBA. You heard him talk today, and he
Hey
filled
man,
us
I
in.
appreciate
And so yeah, make sure you guys go subscribe to his stuff, and go to his latest video and hit the like button and subscribe. And you'll see me over there occasionally too, especially with breaking
it. Yeah,
news
yes,
happening.
he
So yeah,
Joseph.
I'm like the
Joseph
wind
always.
horse now for tuning sports. So,
Wendy.
but that's how I felt that day, dude. When I called in after the Hunter trade that Friday, I was in the car
Yeah.
going somewhere, and I was like I was called in. I was like, it's like I used to watch ESPN when I was a kid. Guys be calling in for
Yeah.
breaking news. It was fun,
Right.
but uh,
That's funny. Man. I appreciate
all
the
right, brother.
insight.
All right, I'll see you the next one.
All right, man. Take care, bro.
You too. But all right, guys. Shout out to TuneIn Sports. Appreciate having them on. Shout out to all the new subscribers today in the chat. You guys were awesome. Stay tuned to the next episode of The Real. I think my next episode, we're going to continue on with some of the more of the Shador Sanders stuff and Smoke with the Browns. And I got some new stuff there, some latest developments I'm sure you guys saw today with the Madden thing and everything. So we'll get into that down the road. And if you're not familiar with this channel, he said, what did he say? I'm glad. Oh, I'm glad Evan and Spider won that skills challenge. Yeah, me too. That was great to see them win. I thought Darius did well in the 3-point contest, but he just came up just a bit short. But I was hoping he would have won that. But I'm glad Cleveland won something. You know, anytime you see Cleveland winning something, it's we got to celebrate it no matter what. But if you guys are new to this channel, this is also called The Real Media. And over at The Real Media, we also have 2 other shows as well. And the first one I'll share with you guys, if you're into sports betting, parlays, everybody's into sports betting nowadays. Everybody's doing parlays, fantasy sports. Well, we got you covered. We got The Fix for you. And that's the name of the show, The Fix with Dan and Chris. Check it out. And that's right. You can usually catch them more towards later in the week. I think you'll see them later this week as well. So stay tuned for them. If you're into sports betting, check them out. Salute to you, Tune In. He's in the chat now. And also, you heard somebody call it earlier, Professional Mike. If you're into all things Browns, NFL draft talk, and in-depth NFL draft analysis, you got to check out The Professional Fan with Mike Antonese. And so, yeah, there you have it. Mike will be live either tonight or tomorrow. He's got his next version of the draft. He's done tight ends, running backs. He's going to get into defensive line play here. So stay tuned for that. It's a really good defensive line grouping in this NFL draft. So make sure you tune into that. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Shout out to TuneNSports again. Thanks for coming on, my friend. And much respect to you, brother. And looking forward to doing more work on his channel as well. And having fun with this. This is a lot of fun doing this, just be able to cover the Cavs, cover the Browns. And so I'm very honored and humbled to be able to be doing this. Especially if anybody knows my journey, go check out my first video I've ever did that I've never watched. But, you know, the main thesis of this channel is more centered around mental health and my journey of overcoming my 9-10 year battle of agoraphobia and panic and anxiety disorder that crippled my life for a long time. And glad I could say now I've overcame that and restoring my life now, and God's restoring my life and taking me to the next journey in my life. And so this is part of the next chapter as well as this show, growing the show. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. And yeah, shout out to TuneIn. Say appreciate having me on. See you on the next show. And B Skrills got me cracking up. He said, I woke up and dude jumped over the Kia. That's a hell of a, you wake up and you see him jumping over the Kia. That's pretty good. Pretty funny. He said, keep doing what you're doing. You too, brother. Appreciate you coming on. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Like, subscribe, share all that good stuff. I'm out of here. Gone.